shots and goals, tax. Rock the shows, yeah. Big bang rolls, cash. Now she go for the team, now she don't ski, splash. Think about posting up on the ground, man, delete her. Whole gang in the field, we don't do bleachers. Think about posting up on the ground, man, delete her. Whole gang in the field, we don't do bleachers.
We coming, man. Free the guys, man. P&V. Skirt.
Special guest, Jacob Trough.
15, when I saw my first 100 bids, got my first 100 bids and made it through the running, man. They know how we coming, man. Gotta get this money, man. I came up from nothing, had to turn it into something, man. 15, when I saw my first 100 bids, got my first 100 bids and made it through the running, man. They know how we coming, man. Go and get this money, man. I came up from nothing, had to turn it into something, man. We winning, keep grinding, it's just the beginning. Rap about they ain't living. Ain't no top boy, you gotta be kidding. Like Nike, I go get a check. Baby girl, watch your flex. Got your trees, she go for the P&V on my up next. Can't wait till I caught me a Mozzie. On Cali, I feel like a different man. We got the pack, we delivering. I remember cold nights, I was shivering. Gotta go get the bag and no stopping me. Saying ain't no.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the steel capital of the world, Pittsburgh, PA, at Heinz Field. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
Lucky 56. Here we go now. 3-19.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And that's complete to Jesse James. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
All right, now, Lucky 56. Lucky 56. Set. Blue 90. Blue 90. Hut.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off at the 20. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. Last week, somehow they won. He threw all those picks, but they still won. Here, opening drive, unfortunately, he picked up where he left off.
Partner, you get a lot of extra patience when you find a way to win despite you making mistakes. But starting out again this game.
And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. Stephon Tuitt, the former Notre Dame man. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Shotgun now for Wentz. Jeffrey reels it in over the middle. And he makes it all the way down to the 31. Wentz finding his favorite receiver, Jeffrey, on a big one. And even 40 yards. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. They go play action here on 1st down. Looking for Aguilar, and it's intercepted. It's picked by the linebacker, T.J. Watt. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
And this might not be the last interception we see, Brandon. Both of these teams like to throw the football, but here in this snow, ball's not going to always go where you want it to. And this one winds up getting intercepted.
Here we go. 3-19.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Bell. And able to find a little space. He gets us up over the 15 to the 16. Timmy Jernigan, the Florida State man, in on the stop.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
On play action, they'll throw. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones maybe bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
Now back to throw. And that is incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders. That
guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a two-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. On play action, Wentz. And he'll be wrapped up around the waist and pushed down. T.J. Watt in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year. Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack. Throwing now is Wentz. Flush to his right. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off by Morgan Burnett, and he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line.
I think that interception happened for 2 reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open?
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
Detroit! Detroit! Set! 3-19! 3-19! Gone! 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 Gone!
Now a first down carry by Bell. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14.
Detroit! Detroit!
On 2nd down, it's Bell. And he's going to take this one down inside the 45. So that one will get him halfway to the first down marker. 7 yards makes it 3rd and 7 now. He'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. And that is incomplete.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of. Otherwise, he was going to get sacked.
Here's Jordan Berry now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
And he'll get him a little bit of breathing room across the 5 to the 6-yard line.
Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much.
A little more room here on 2nd and 6 from the 6. They'll toss it to Ajayi. And a nice pickup as this one gets him to the 10-yard line. The former LSU Tiger Dante Jackson on the stop.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They run with Ajayi. And brought down, but not before they're able to get it up to the 25. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
That ball's caught. Aguilar right side. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
To throw, it's Wentz. Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
On 3rd and long, it's Wentz. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Sean Davis with a pick. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. So that is 3 interceptions now in this first half. And you hate to ask the question, but let's be honest. We're thinking about it. Do you need to go in a different direction next series?
Potentially. We know that he's probably not going to be on the Pro Bowl ballot. That's not really his stature here. But he has been their starting quarterback for this game. So they've got to weigh things about who's behind him. Do they think he can snap it back into gear? Maybe change up the play calling to help him out a little bit.
Throw left side, complete to Smith-Schuster. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39. Pass.
They'll try and run for it with Bell. Bell a first down and then some. And all the way down to the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
It's funny, partner. Le'Veon Bell, when he came out of Michigan State, when I go back and look at my analysis of him and what my grades were for him, thought he was a big-time player, great potential, but I didn't know we were going to get this player. I was used to a big, solid, thick running back, but now I've got a full package, a guy who can do everything, as we just saw there, including breaking tackles.
But at the time, second-round pick in 2013, some people probably wishing they'd taken him in the first. Now Bell. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Give him 4 on the carry there at 2nd and goal.
Only 4 yards on that gain, but, you know, a lot of people would say that's like getting 9 in normal circumstances since this was 1st and 5.
Yeah, now your playbook's wide open here, 2nd and very short.
Yeah, I still don't think that you can count it in the stats that way at contract time.
No, it still goes down as 4, not 9. There's a quarterback sneak, and he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. It's their quarterback, his 17th touchdown now on the season, and the Steelers are able to strike for 6. The point after, no gimme in the snow, but it's up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. Boswell on now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. A good pickup there at 22. Two minutes remain here in the first half. Back to Heinz Field after this. On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, 2nd down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. They'll run it now out of the gun. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. It's Big Vince Williams who made the tackle.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Ertz has it left side. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. An Eagle first down, Wentz to Ertz. Wentz now on 1st down. Jeffrey with a catch left side. The 20. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And he'll take this one down near the 15. Give the tackle there to Morgan Burnett. The Eagles hustling to the line, clock rolling.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
Straight 15, straight 15.
On 2nd down, here's Wentz. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. An Eagle first down there. Wentz to Ertz, and the names that end in TZ. They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's second and goal. Now flags come in here. Looked like one of the Eagles might have moved. Things made a little more difficult after the false start as they try again on second and goal.
Shorty. Here we go.
To throw is Wentz. His pass caught at the 4. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Alshon Jeffrey as the first half is winding down. And the Eagles are within an extra point of tying this thing up. And a little time left on the clock, so on the other side, they're thinking, gosh, we'd like to get that lead right back.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Here I am going ahead and tapping out the first half.
Well,
there's still time. They've got to make a decision about what they want to do on the kickoff, whether they want to let their return guy touch it.
Here comes Ryan Switzer to return it. Dances by him. And he'll take it out past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Now the Steelers offense gets ready to get back onto the field. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear? That's pride.
Oh, okay. I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
Watch it now, Barney.
They'll throw now on the final play. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. There you have it. Halftime quickly over. Third quarter, here we go. So thanks to the late touchdown, it's a time ball game here heading to break. This is taken at the 3. Oh, look at that. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. Out come the Eagles now as they'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Play action. Now Wentz. He hits his running back, Jay Ajayi. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
A big chunk of yardage there, 37 yards.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to, but they didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, and it created a big run. They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he gets halfway home from the 4 down to the 2-yard line. Good first step there defensively, but they're still knocking on the doorstep, so maybe another run here?
I think so. And one of my favorite coaches used to say, son, if you could darn near lay down near the end zone and get in, give me my best power running play with my best back right now.
They'll try to run with a J. And he's in for an Eagles touchdown. Jay Ajayi, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Eagles are able to cash it in for 6. Elliott now to add the extra point. Elliott good on the extra point, and that makes the score 14-7. Elliott now to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Here we go now. Green.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And his throw here's incomplete. Nigel Bradham, the linebacker, right there on the coverage.
When everything is in sync on defense, that means everyone's communicating really well, and sometimes it's nonverbal. They just know that when a receiver's in one spot, this person may have him, and he's in another spot, the next defender may have him. And they've squeezed the passing lanes down to where it's so difficult to find an open area to deliver the football. They've made it tough on them all game long.
And they convert on 3rd with a gain of 22.
Here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
He'll look to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Sidney Jones. And he's just across midfield and down at the 49-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense as the scouting report?
Rush coming, and he's taken down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Wentz to throw on 2nd down. Wide open receiver complete. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Here's Ajayi. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
I think Cameron Hayward's ability to take on blocks, hold the point of attack, and get upfield serves him very, very well. What a nice play there.
Yeah, he can take on blocks because he's built like a block. Now Wentz. Being chased out left. It's brought in by Jeffrey. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
Now Wentz. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. It's another 10 yards on that one and another 1st down. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down.
And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack.
Well, that was point-counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on 1st and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
Now Wentz. Forced out to his left. And that one not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up. His time is now. Well, they've been so good on 3rd down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal? From the gun, it's Wentz. Escaping the pressure right. Drops it off to Ajayi. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Able to hold him to just 2 yards, and now it's 4th and goal. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
A big one there. That gives him a little cushion and makes it a 2-score game.
Yeah, bled a little time off the clock, put some points on the board. It's not totally out of reach yet, but it has to feel pretty good to them right now because as a defender, you go out on the field and say, guess what? You can put some points on the board, but that won't beat us.
The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game. Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. They'll look to throw. It's complete to Brown, right side. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a 1st down there. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. And his throw is incomplete.
It's never a bad idea to try and get it to Antonio Brown, but there must be a little bit of the Madden curse going on for our cover athlete here. Hasn't been able to get that elite separation that we're used to seeing from him.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32.
Gun! Hurry up, here we go. Blue, landed.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Guys, man, complete over the middle. That's James. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Now back to throw. Goes underneath for Bell. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that'll make it a 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. James has it. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. 63 yards receiving for him now, and that last catch good enough for a 1st down. He'll drop to throw. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. Stepping up, he'll try and run. Evades him at the... Oh, no, he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, let's see now, Charles. That's 7 turnovers between last week and this week. 3 here in this game, 4 in last week's game.
You know I do my research, right? And I go all the way back to the best coaches that have ever been in this game, and all of them started with ball security in some form or another, understanding that taking care of the ball was the key to winning games. They can't believe what they're seeing right now because they spend all this time on it with the fundamentals, taking care of it, tucking it away, and they're not doing it.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on second down. Wentz steps away to his left. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
Great 15.
Now Wentz on third down. Jeffrey reels it in over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets this football out shy of the 30 to the 29. That catch puts him right at 100 yards receiving now, and it also gives him a first down. Wentz now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Now the Steelers put a stop to the action with a timeout defensively. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. Now Wentz throwing on second down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. And this defense here going to burn their second timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning. Now a toss play. It's a Johnny. And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49. And now here comes the third of their timeouts defensively. So they'll be left with only the 2-minute warning to stop it from here on out.
Hang in there now. Hang in there now. 81, 81.
On second down, here's Wentz. That ball's caught. Aguilar right side. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll take this one down to the 36. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They run again with a J. And a solid run down inside the 30. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets them into a 3rd and 1 situation.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. It's a gain of 3, and it gets him the first. Oh, look at this. Wentz going to throw. Flushed out right. That's going to be caught. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. A big gain there, and that should certainly be enough to put this one in the win column. Wentz to throw. It's caught by Aguilar. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. Only a yard in the completion. It's 2nd and goal. To throw is Wentz. And that is caught. It's Aguilar for the Eagle touchdown. Nelson Aguilar with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Eagles add on to their lead. And he's got it up and through. Elliott now to kick this one away. Switzer now to return. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Over the middle, complete. It's James. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A gain of 32 that time. Oh, partner, there's something special about a game in the snow. Just always fun in these elements, although a little chillier up here in the open-air booth. The only thing that's not fun is that we got the mid-game notification that our flight was canceled tonight, but we'll deal with that later. It was really a fun game to watch, though.
It was, and there is something special about games played in the snow because the element of surprise really kicks in. You don't know how they're going to handle the ball, if someone's going to make a dramatic play just out of nowhere, and all of a sudden it just changes the course of things. But a big shout out to our crew to make sure that we were comfortable up here, as comfortable as one could be. In these elements, they took care of us and made sure we were dressed properly.
So for Philadelphia, they continue to be one of the best teams around as they move to 10-2. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Meanwhile, for the Steelers, it's another week with more questions than answers as they fall to 3-9. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in Cincinnati against the Bengals. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL.
I done seen the best of them, jammed up. 25 to life and they can't stop. Never met a man that they can't talk. We're talking on the phone, they can hear us.
When you got dumb cake up in the say that they be waiting for you in the bushes with the duct tape.